All right, man. Let's talk about one of my subs brought up an interesting point. He talked about a disparity between Canelo corner and Bud corner, and he said that's one of the things that, that's not being talked about enough. Is Crawford corner, Bomac and Saul and Reg and Bernie versus Eddy Reynoso, and Eddy Reynoso has been under fire before. Um, for not really giving Canelo the best advice. The Beeble fight, some of the advice that he gave to people in the corner. Um, and, you know, I think Crawford has the advantage as far as coaching. I think Canelo has got by with his natural talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the William Skull fight, he was talking, I think, the Netflix or the Ring, talking about it's very difficult when somebody run. It's your job to watch film and see, how to stop William Skull. And one thing about Canelo Alvarez, he don't like to engage until he traps you on the ropes. That's one thing I did when the film study broke down. He's very lazy. He don't like to jab to get you in position. One thing Canelo like to do is to move forward, move his head off the line to put you in position, to put you on the ropes. And he feel like he gets you on the ropes in the corner, then he may throw a jab or throw a hook. And then when he feel like, you tired of moving, then he'll run combinations. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like, like when you got Canelo in the center of the ring, he ain't really trying to make shit shake. Especially in the beginning of the fight. He ain't trying to jab with you. He just really trying to stalk you and, get off and put you in. His whole thing is to put you in position with your back against the ropes. And then, Canelo Alvarez, he wants to attack. That's his game. Then he wants to attack. That's it. So if you're able to keep it in the center of the ring, throw combinations, turn them, they don't really have no answer for that. What did he tell you to do versus Dimitri Bivol? He couldn't. They said, well, they had an injury. Wasn't no injury. They had no other alternative. But to try to just, weave their way in and push people to the ropes and then control the narrative of the fight by beating on the ropes. If you're able to, throw combinations, control Canelo with your jab, and what he wants you to do is jab, and he want to be able to counter your jab or slip it and come over the top or something like that. That's why you throw more than one shot. You know what I'm saying? Or you throw the jab and you able to keep that distance between you and him. And they don't make an adjustment to that. He don't make an adjustment to Skull to jab him in the heart, jab him in the chest, touch him on the body, to slow him down. No, he just followed them and tried to pin him on the ropes and throw punches. That's all he tried to do. Eddy Reynoso, they knew for 8 to 10 to 12 weeks what this was going to be, and that was his best game plan. And in reality, when you look at that fight, he actually lost that fight. To keep it real, versus Erislandy Lara, their answer was, they was getting outboxed the first half of the fight. Towards the end, they started, throwing the hook to where Lara was rolling out to his right or to his left. So he would throw the left hook where Lara was rolling out to. But Lara has a very limited offensive skill set. Versus Caleb Plant, it was the same thing. Caleb Plant went through the ropes a lot easier than Dimitri Bivol. So when he got Plant on the ropes, he had no fear of Plant throwing anything that hurt him. So once he got Plant on the ropes and Plant went to the ropes so easy, it was a wrap. And like I said, easier said than done. Oh shit. Easier said than done. Real talk, easier said than done. But I think the skill, the coaching ability it was with Terence Crawford. I think the coaching is with him. The corner adjustments is with him, but Canelo with size and he got some speed, he got some skill. He has a lot of advantages. So Crawford got to take his advantages where he got him at. And if, there's a discrepancy in anywhere that Crawford has an advantage or should have an advantage, he don't have much room for error. He's probably going to lose. So if he's supposed to be the faster guy and he ain't the faster guy, if he had supposed to have a better feet and he don't have a better feet, if he supposed to at least be the better conditioned athlete, he not the better conditioned athlete. One of those or two of those is enough to tilt the fight easily in Canelo Alvarez's favor. So if he supposed to have a better corner and they don't have the answers of the best game plan, most likely, the odds tell us they leaning in Canelo's favor. So one of those things can make Canelo the overwhelmingly favorite. So a lot of things are assumed in the fight. That the guy moving up is the smaller guy, the faster guy, the weaker guy. You know what I'm saying? The more conditioned guy. It's a lot of things. But one thing y'all forgetting, a lot of these dudes walk around bigger than what y'all think. A lot of these dudes are naturally strong. A lot of these dudes with multiple, sports backgrounds and all that type of stuff. But I think they have them prepared. I think he'll be prepared. So, if he prepared the way he should be, Crawford should have that advantage. And that's something that a lot of people ain't talking about. Because Eddy Reynoso leaves a lot to be desired from his fighters. When they get into these fights and they start getting all slicked and he don't have an answer for them. And he said leading up to before this fight was officially made or when it was first made that this is going to be a difficult task. And one of the simple things is just to get your guy to jab more. Stop looking for the counter. Stop looking for the one big shot. That's what Canelo looking for. One big shot. He's got accustomed to moving up in weight, hitting guys with one shot, and it changed the fight with Caleb Plant. When he imposed his strength and his power on Caleb Plant, it changed the fight. Caleb started running to the ropes and sliding on the ropes. With Dimitri Bivol, it didn't matter. Bivol, every time he tried to take control of the fight, Bivol took control with combination and put him in the blender and left the fight in the middle of the ring. Mayweather just kept him off balance. Feints. He didn't know he was coming, he was going. Whether it was a hook, it was a straight right, a right, 1-2, whatever it was, a left hook, right hand. He kept him guessing. Is it going to be a point where Crawford try to get on the inside and push him back and rip him to the body? Who knows? But, it's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is. And I think it's just simply hit, not get hit. I think they're going to try to do what Floyd Mayweather did. You got what, a 3.5 inch reach advantage, I think. Speed, you know what I'm saying? But the one thing about it is I think you want to be able to establish, I think you want to be able to establish something before you establish speed. Respect, power, you know what I'm saying? You want to create doubt, and then you want to let the speed take over. But, Crawford got a great corner. I think Canelo has a subpar corner. I just think Eddy Reynoso is a guy that's reading Boxing for Dummies from a book, seeing what he gonna do, because there's no way you prepare for, for Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, Erislandy Lara, you know what I'm saying, Floyd Mayweather, y'all still struggling. You got a jab. That we're looking for one shot and all that shit, man. You got it. You got to push that jab. That jab that jab and that right hand to the body is gonna set up that left hook to upstairs into the body. Canelo don't jab enough. He stalk. And while he's stalking, there's opportunities to score, especially if you got footwork where you can boom, ping, pop, boom, turn him. You know what I'm saying? When he load up, either you need to be smothering him, you need to be out of there, or you need to be touching him before he try to touch you. And it's just some things that Eddy Reynoso and him ain't cleaned up yet. He lazy. He looking for one big shot. And in this fight, Why wouldn't you? You got a guy climbing up 2 weight classes. When he gets you on the ropes, you got to be prepared. He gonna unload his most efficient and most powerful shots. When your back is on the ropes is where he get the most confident. I'm telling y'all, when that back against the ropes, especially if Crawford and southpaw, he gonna be looking to throw that right hand. I already know what it is. When Crawford get to the ropes, either Crawford need to be reactive, he need to react before Canelo throw a punch, or he need to be trying to get out the way and smother Canelo. That's exactly when you get on that rope, he gonna throw them punch, he gonna throw them paws. In the middle of the ring, he just looking to counter you to push you to the ropes to get off. That's what happened when you can't control nobody with your hook or your left hook or your right hook, and because you don't use your jab. The jab lets you control the fighter in front of you. Canelo just tried to use pressure and to push his opponents to he tried to just use, pressure to push you to the ropes and then throw. That's all he tried to do. But we'll see. But I think Crawford got an advantage in the corner. Let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop video. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.